All I want any recruiter to know is that I'm so much more than just my resume.
LOL! Come on! We both know that all these recruitment platforms are only designed for the companies to get what they want. They don't care about candidates like us.
Not all, buddy. Have you heard of TAG?
Karan Roy, data scientist. Tag score 96%. Interesting.
That's me. And thanks to TAG, now she knows all about my functional, behavioral, technical, and all other relevant skills. TAG indeed is a game changer for me. When I signed up for it, it created this structured, validated, and enriched profile mapped across my numerous skills, knowledge base, and work experience, and created a score. My TAG score. The score and profiling help me present my best professional version to any employer. They can easily find what they need, and if I'm the right fit, my profile shows up instantly. This way, TAG not only helps candidates like me land their dream jobs, but also figure out where they stand amongst their peers, and also identify the areas they need to work on.
Wow, this is just the kind of candidate I need. I like how detailed his profile is. Should I even interview this guy?
See? This is how TAG is bringing clarity, communication, and dignity back for us candidates. It also gives me an access to a community of peers, career circles, thousands of jobs, and marquee employers like her to further aid my career growth.
Are you kidding me? Did you just get hired within minutes?
So, very good evening, friends. Welcome to the 12th episode of our Career Circle live session. Thanks for joining us. My name is Naved Falak, and alongside with me is Mr. Anshuman Srivastav, and we'll be your host for today's session.
Hello everyone. Good evening.
Good evening, Anshuman. So, as you all know, Career Circles by TAG are an exclusive community for you, each one of us, to interact and engage with industry leaders, HR leaders, TA experts, and your peers, and discuss for future landscape and trends significant and rising in the industry. On addition to this, Career Circle Live is an open-ended conversation, like a series where we engage with industry leaders and talk about the trends. So, Anshuman, very excited to have today's discussion. Our guest today is Manish Sinha. I'll give a quick introduction about Manish. Manish has decades of experience in the multiple industries ranging from pharma, energy, and obviously automotive. And he's a senior vice president in CHRO in Mahindra Automotive Business. Welcome, Manish. We are honored to have you here.
Welcome, Manish.
Thank you. Thanks, Nave. Thanks, Anshuman. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah. So
Okay.
very excited to start today's discussion. And before I start, I like to quote a significant trend which we are seeing right now. There is a push, Manish, Anshuman, and everyone present in the forum, a push for gender diversity hiring. And as per our Decoding Jobs report of 2023, this will rise within this year as well. So our topic for today's discussion is diversity and inclusion in automotive space. Yeah, so very excited. Before we start the session, I want my moderators to please bring up a AV. LM.
Who am I? I'm going to be buying what you're going to be making. I want to know you're making a better world.
I'll give my money to the one who never robs the earth.
I'll spend my fortune on you if you promise to think of the less fortunate too.
I want to know you're making a more equal world.
I'll invest in your technology to put a man on Mars.
But wait, why can't it be a woman? I'll click on your app, I'll walk into your shop.
As long as you're fair to the farmer and his crop. I'm gonna be buying what you're gonna be making. And if you make the world a little better too, no one will feel richer than you.
We all know Mahindra, country's top automotive manufacturers, and the video very excited, Manish. I can see a rise for a more equal world message there. Yeah. So in next 40 to 50 minutes, we'll be discussing about diversity, inclusion in the automotive space, how the job landscape looks like, and what career opportunities are there skill wise. And like I said, this is an interactive session. So ask your questions anytime in the chat, and I'll try my best to put forward to Manish, and he'll be answering it. But there's a catch here, ladies and gentlemen. Top five questions, and I request my guest Manish to choose them. Top five questions, lucky winners will get a chance to have an Amazon voucher of 1,000 each. So I request keep your thinking hats on while we discuss with Manish more on the topic. Sure. So Manish, I'll start the
Clear.
conversation. Yeah. Sure. So, Manish, I'll just start the conversation. For women, Manish, especially in the automobile segment and the manufacturing industry, traditionally, the workplace, or you can say talent attraction, was significantly low. But right now, the organizations are creating a happy workplace, and women talent attraction and equal opportunities is thriving. Right. So, what
Correct.
what do you see as a current job landscape in automobile?
Very interesting question, Navid. Let me take a step back and let me not talk about the landscape from a gender angle, but just the landscape overall as it seems to be existing. So if you look at the automotive industry, the automobile industry in India roughly accounts for 12% of the the gross value added in the manufacturing sector. And if you look at the industry contribution to India's manufacturing GDP, it will be roughly 50%, and that's a sizable number. Overall, at about 7.5% of the GDP at large, and it in a way creates about 35 to 40 million jobs for the country. And if you look at the valuation of the automotive industry itself, it's India is the fourth largest. In terms of consumption, the third largest automobile market as of today. And this is the overall automotive space. If you look at the EV market is expected to grow at a CAGR of about 50% between 22 to 30, and roughly about 10 million vehicles will get sold by the year 2030. That EV space will additionally create 50 million direct and indirect jobs by 2030, and it's all aligned with government initiatives of Make in India. So overall, just as an automobile industry, I believe it is exceptionally bullish. There are very new roles coming up in both traditional and new age domains. And when I say traditional, the hardcore, you know, production, maintenance, your process engineering, your quality, the shop floor roles, as well as new domains such as within EV, there are multiple domains like embedded, validation, proto, functional safety, power electronics, battery management, all of these put together. And the rest of the domains like program management, component development, point of cost optimization. All the organizations are trying to do that in today's time and age. The ever evolving functions of product development, procurement. So you look at the entire value chain, right from the time of product conceptualization, the business case, which is product planning, to the product development, to design, marketing, manufacturing, sales, aftermarkets, all through the value chain. Now, if you look at it, these there are multiple roles, plethora of roles that's available. So as an industry, it's doing very well, and it will continue to do very well. As far as roles for women candidates are concerned, everything, all the functions, whether it is the whether those are traditional functions, new age functions, those roles are available irrespective of gender. All of those roles are available for both male and female talent. So I don't see a particular criteria or a particular divide between what's available for men, what's available for women. It's actually for both. And therefore, it's becoming very, very exciting times for both the genders. Yeah, Navid, over to
Sure,
you.
sure, Manish. Manish, you touch based upon a new skill set, and it is the future actually. That is EV, right? Which we all know is a niche business, niche segment, but kind of new skills, which we all are working upon. Manish, with reference to EV being a niche skill, how do you grapple with the equal opportunities? Do you see Mahindra has an opportunity here to hire diverse workforce with equal opportunity to men and women?
Oh, absolutely. If you look at all of these areas, whether it is, I mean, each of these functional, sub-functional areas that I touched upon, right from embedded to testing to battery management to vehicle integration, mobility solutions, power electronics, functional safety, all of these, and we do a lot of work with you, Navid, and Tagged has been helping us in driving our talent acquisition vertical. There is enough and more available, and it is an equal playing field. There is absolutely nothing that gives one gender an advantage over the other. Absolutely not, because Mahindra, as a philosophy, believes in hiring talented people, giving them equal opportunities to learn and grow in the organization, and truly harnessing people's true potential by giving them an equal playing field. So there is an opportunity for all women candidates out there who are listening to this podcast. All of them are more than welcome to apply, and depending on the role suitability, the qualification, the kind of experience that we may need for specific roles, it's absolutely merit-based decision, and there is nothing uh, that the organization or the hiring managers would differentiate basis gender. So I really want to communicate this loud and clear that we are an equal opportunity employer, and it's an organization that primarily is driven by the merit of the candidate. And we do have a lot of people working with us, and a lot of people showing interest in multiple opportunities that come our way, both in the EV and in the traditional domains as well.
Sure, Manish rightly said. And when we talk about equal opportunities, we know Mahindra has been very vocal with reference to equal opportunities. But Manish, with respect to diverse workforce, we all know that it brings a new thought and innovation, right? So, as one of the leading automobile companies in India, what exactly equal opportunities or diverse workforce mean to you?
That's a very interesting question, Navid. So it essentially means giving level playing field irrespective of differences, and those differences could be because of generation, gender, region, color of skin, uh, physical or mental status, people with disabilities, communication style, religious beliefs, socioeconomic background, so on and so forth, multiple aspects. I mean, look at the length and breadth of what we have got to offer to candidates and employees. Approximately, I mean, we have 10 manufacturing sites across India, and we are, look at the sales offices across the length and breadth of the country. Products which are not only produced in India and served in India, they're actually sent all over the world. uh, we have a sizable global footprint in sales and customer care. uh, Look at it from a generation perspective. This is purely from a sales and a product offering perspective. Look at it from a employee perspective, right from Gen X to millennials to Gen Zs, all working together, bringing in different perspectives. And when we talk about diversity, it essentially means acknowledgement and respect for diversity of thoughts and perspectives. How do you respect people for who they are, the kind of uh, things that they are looking for, the kind of roles that they would flourish in? Are you giving them that opportunity to flourish? Are you treating them as equals? Which is what the organization, which is what Mahindra believes in. And we've been like this for 75 years. This is in our DNA. When we talk of our purpose, which is to drive positive change in the lives of our communities, and in the rise refresh philosophy, we talk about only when others we enable others to rise do we rise, and saying together we rise. It's actually lived by our leaders, by our employees on a day-to-day basis. And mind you, inclusion is one of the three most important pillars of the brand pillars of rise. When we are talking about rise for a more equal world, inclusion subsumes diversity. It's one of the most important things that we are trying to drive across the organization. And that's why diversity is such an important topic to us, and making sure that people from all diverse backgrounds come together, bring in their perspective, and create an environment which truly makes people successful. That's so important.
Sure, Manish. So happy to hear from the leader itself that we are creating equal opportunities for people. Manish, I'll go back to how I started. Traditionally, what I was trying to say, manufacturers and with reference to diverse workforce were having some resistance in joining the manufacturing or the automobile industry. In the last few years, I have seen the automobile industry significantly ramping up in creating happy workplaces for diverse workforce or with reference to talent attraction. So, how are we at Mahindra ensuring that equal opportunities or maybe women participation is increased in the organization?
Yeah, good question. Let me first touch upon how we what we think of diversity, and as an organization, why it is so important for us. And then I'll touch upon a few testimonials and cases of, without naming people, of course, how they have done so well in in the organization. And all examples that I will take now with would be of diverse talent. So let me first talk about the benefits of why we think it's important. And I think I did touch upon a couple of points. The first is perspective. Variety of perspectives from employees with coming from diverse background. They are the ones who, if our buyer base is diverse, if the people who are buying our product, they are so diverse, they are of multi generation, why should that not get reflected in our workforce? So that is so important. When you have an echoing thing happening in the organization, a mirror of what's happening outside, the same should get mirrored in the organization. So that's from a perspective, which leads to creativity and innovation. So if you have a melting pot of fresh ideas, people of different backgrounds coming together, sparking innovation, that's so important for the business. That leads to a higher engagement, better decision making of the employees itself. employees they get appreciated, they understand that they are celebrated for who they are, for their uniqueness, and therefore they are more engaged with the organization, which leads to a lower turnover. It's all linked. So if people are more accepted, they're more valued, they tend to be with the organization longer enough, and therefore you will see decreased turnover, which in turn would mean better reputation, and so on and so forth. So you end up being an employer of choice. You are a socially responsible organization with a very strong EVP, a strong reputation. So that's from an organizational lens of why diversity and inclusion is so important. And all of this put together is, diversity is getting people to come and be together, but inclusion is essentially valuing them for who they are and having their point of view, even if it is a unique point of view. That point of view is valued as much as a majority point of view. So that's something which we truly believe in. Let me take a few cases, Navid, of people who have done well with us, and I will then drive the point of, what are the kind of people who have grown with us, and how we have all these years demonstrated diversity and inclusion in different avatars. So let me take an example of a fresh graduate apprentice trainees. She joins us, works as an industrial engineer, grows up and works as a shift in charge, does a stint in employee relations, does a great job in body shop, does a role in process engineering, is part of a launch management, and currently is leading a large team. Let me take another example of another successful mid-managerial women leader with us. Started her career in engine testing, moved to engine assembly, did a assignment or a role in BIW, then in TCF, and has been one of our fast trackers in manufacturing. And various such people who have moved within that function or even outside the function. Let me take an example of someone who's grown with us in finance, and someone who did plant finance, then controllership, shared services, costing, different roles. We firmly believe, Navid, that talent rotation is something which the organization lays a lot of emphasis on, and we clearly think that builds people to stay with the company. They feel valued, they feel enriched by doing different assignments, and we truly encourage that. To be honest, the policy on talent rotation and IJP says that you are free to apply after 12 months in your role, which is so encouraging and so empowering when people know that they have the ability, post the learning that they want to do in the job and the contribution that they have done, post that they are free to apply for a role which is appearing on the company internal portal and moving around. That builds their credential, that builds their skill set, which leads to a higher level of engagement, motivation, and retention in the organization. Yeah, Navid.
Manish, I can very well relate your conversation in a gist with the AV which we showed, Rise for a More Equal World. Yeah,
Absolutely.
so, yeah, absolutely. So, Manish, with the reference to women who are exploring careers in automobile industry, we are talking about how equal opportunities or diverse workforce can bring success in an organization. And was really excited to hear those success stories. I'm sure the audience and looking aspirants will also be similarly excited. But when I specifically talk about Mahindra, for women or diverse workforce exploring career opportunities in an automobile industry, why Mahindra Auto? I'll be very straight, Manish. Why Mahindra Auto?
Yeah, good question. So, Mahindra Auto, for the organization that Mahindra is, the ethos and the leadership principles, philosophy, the values of Group Mahindra, and Mahindra Auto is a part of the group, and therefore, my submission to everybody on the call is, we are a set of diverse organizations giving multiple career opportunities in multiple segments, multiple industries. As far as Mahindra Auto is concerned, this is one of the fastest growing and one of the most exciting workplaces in today's time and context. Within the group itself, the amount of excitement and newness of what you see happening in auto, specifically in auto, is very, very high. So uh, your uh, your exposure, learning, leadership, face time, all of that is so high that one ends up becoming, or one is likely to be more successful with Mahindra Auto, and that's my submission to the team here. Um, and the fact that there are plethora of roles, it is not something which is bound by a function. If you want to be in a function, you can grow within the function. You want to grow out of the functions and do different things, absolutely fine. We have had cases and examples of people coming in and joining us as part of HR, and then wanting to do sales. They've done brilliant in sales, went on to do strategy, came back into sales, then did marketing, and then decided to build a career in sales. And these are real examples for all my friends listening to me. So it is a place which gives uh, great learning opportunities, high level of engagement, and of course you can, at the end of the day, what do we all look for? We all look for a place where we can leave a mark. We can call it as something which, something as we build our own stamp. Uh, when we when we left the role, it was a memorable assignment where we developed ourselves, our skill sets improved, and we were an important element to the success of the organization. And in this case, as I mentioned, multiple opportunities, multiple assignments, roles across the automotive industry. uh, you are only limited by your own choices and desires of what you want to do. You're only limited by your own vision, believe me. And I'm not saying this because I have to pitch Mahindra Auto. I'm genuinely saying that it is limited by your own ambition, your own personal situation. Let me take an example. If I want to be in Nasik and I want to be always in Nasik, it may happen that I may not get all the best of the opportunities in Nasik. I do need to move around, maybe Mumbai, maybe other places. So if I'm limited by my own conditions, then it could be a challenge. Otherwise, it's the place to be. We were ranked as number 2 in great places to work in 2022 study. So you can imagine, this is an organization which clearly lives by the values of the organization. And I can see all the 3 pillars of RISE, and playing it out so beautifully, whether it is rising for a more equal world, rise to be future ready, and rise to create value. So right from a technology innovation focused organization to a scale and impact focused organization, the way we are trying to build ourselves is to be lived, to be believed. And how do you live that? You live that when you come and join us.
Sure, Manish. So, Manish, I was prompted to ask a question, and therefore I must say that I'm certain Mahindra is an extremely exciting place for all women to be a part of, for that matter, any talented professional. Such a, with your experience, Manish, you've led HR for companies in India as well as outside India. There are typical challenges that a women worker will have across during the stage of her career in terms of maybe breaks, opportunities. How is Mahindra uh, policies, procedures, etc., helping women be able to continue their career, be a part of the Mahindra workforce? I'm sure there are certain great practices which I'm aware of there, but I'm sure my audiences would love to hear that from you.
Thanks, Anshuman. That's a very important question. See, we have always believed in creating an enabling work culture, an enabling ecosystem. And you can have you can create policies, you can create practices, get into different, create, drive different orientation awareness sessions. We do all of it. Ultimately, the proof of the pudding has to be the way people feel in the organization. How do women employees feel in the organization, and do they continue to grow with us? And for everyone on call, we have we continue to create an enabling ecosystem by having very good women friendly policies and practices, and of course raising awareness of our hiring managers. um, if you look at the numbers that we have been hiring, especially in the last mile mobility and the EV tech domains, uh, we've done very well. We've hired a lot of women talent. We have made sure that they continue to be with us, whether it is by ensuring that there is flexibility to a limit, to a certain extent, that is given to them as per the life stage need. We ensure that when women come back from maternity, they are given an equally challenging assignment. It's not that when they're coming back, there is a role which is a sidestep kind of a role that's provided to them, to giving them that opportunity, ensuring that the managerial support is all through the process of pre-maternity, during maternity, and post-maternity. And that's something which we have been driving as a part of our conscious inclusion sessions with our hiring managers. So overall, all a very nurturing and enabling ecosystem that we have provided, and that's what is helping us to grow women leaders and women talent in the organization.
And I'm certain it's helping a great deal. I'm sure some of our members in the audience would make a note of this thing. And guys, if you have more questions, Limwin at the end put up an email where you can populate in case you want more questions on that. But Manish and Navid, I've got an audience question which have come up. Two of them, in fact. One is unrelated to diversity. One is very, in fact, both are. One is, and I'm prompted to ask, what is Mahindra? How is Mahindra helping the EV infrastructure ecosystem? Is there anything that Mahindra? I'm sure in partnership with government, you would be doing a lot of things. And second is skilling women to be ready for your manufacturing and plant job. Is there any hire, train, deploy models or around campus or otherwise skilling? So skilling and EV infrastructure, Manish.
Thanks, Anshuman. So on skilling, multiple programs and learning sessions being driven at the shop floor. Of course, these are right from our campus engagement when we hire our graduate engineer trainees, postgraduate engineer trainees, management trainees. So right through the process, whether it is in plant or it is in front end sales, customer care, and other functions, we have engagements on uh, first hiring more women talent out there in the campus, and ensuring that whosoever we hire stays with us by giving them the right induction, the right onboarding, and of course humongous learning opportunities to grow with us. That's something which is exceptionally important, and we do make sure that we take a note of it and drive it through our business leaders, functional leaders, and of course HR function as the custodian of all of it, keeps a close watch and track of it. So that's something which is clearly happening in Mahindra. As far as the EV infra is concerned, yes, there are a lot of developments happening, and there are talks of tie-ups which we are currently doing. Right, I will not be the right person, and this may not be the right space for me to have detailed conversation, Anshuman, and that's why I'll resist the temptation of revealing too much
Sure.
here. But there are multiple things which are happening at the back end which uh, can't share at this point of time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so
I,
much, Manish, for helping us. And like I said, and Manish, just one related question. As I'm sure a lot of middle career audience listening, there are a lot of campus folks also, career students who are listening to you. I'm sure, and Mahindra has a lot of campus initiatives. You do hire any messages for the aspiring talent there. Like you said, merit-based women or men who are aspiring to be part of such an exciting organization that Mahindra is.
So my message to everyone, whether it is campus or lateral, Anshuman, it's very, very uh, point blank and simple. Look for the role. Just always try and go for the role. The role should come first, and everything else, your designation, your compensation. I know people from campus may not like me saying this, but believe me, you will grow, and the compensation will catch up much faster than what possibly you can ever imagine.
Completely
Because if
agree.
you grow on your skill set, you grow your functional depth, you will become such an indispensable person in your current organization or the organization who wants to hire you. At a point of time, your market value will be so high, you possibly wouldn't have realized it yourself, that I have learned so much and I'm doing so much that I stand to gain 4 years, 3 years, 5 years from now. And maybe right now I feel that I am struggling and my work life balance has gone for a toss and I'm really finding it difficult. But as much as you invest in yourself, and that's why my point of going for the role, understanding the role, and to a certain extent, as much as possible, try and do 20 to 30% of your manager's work. It always pays. It always pays because you expand your limits, you expand your boundaries, you learn something new, and in a way you are, in your own mind and in your manager's view, you're elevating yourself, and that pays off in the long run. So that's my 2 cents for people. Go for the role, go for the content. Everything else will happen
Wow.
and it will all come through.
Completely with you. Completely with you. Absolutely, I think. Navedoji.
Yeah, thank you, Manish, for enlightening us and the audience present in the forum. Really inspiring, factual, and clear. And with those thoughts, Manish, there are a lot of questions pouring in the comment section, and I would highlight two of them. Manish, one of the questions says down the line in 5 years, specifically related to women. Uh, how do you expect the workplace to change? Like encouragement of more women to work in the next 5 years. And the second one is, Manish, if Mahindra specifically has any program for women who have taken career breaks, maybe for raising kids, taking care for family, very important when we talk about equal opportunities and diversity. Yeah.
Absolutely, Navid, and thank you for asking both the questions. On the first question, how do I see workplace change over the next 5 years? I clearly see workplace becoming far more inclusive than where we are today. And believe me, we have come a long way from the times of early 2000 to even early 2010 to 12 arena. We have really become an organization that's far more evolved. The industry has become far more evolved, and I do see that evolution taking a much faster pace in times to come. It will be a far more inclusive environment. I will not hesitate to say that we will get to a stage where all kinds of workplace flexibility possibly will be allowed and will be there in different form or shape. There will be organizations who will be more traditional in their approach and would want folks to come to office every day, which is absolutely fine as far as collaboration, outcome, productivity, all of that is concerned. But there will be multiple organizations who will actually go down the path of having limited to a large extent, and it can be at any end of the spectrum, flexibility with respect to workplace, with respect to benefits, with respect to policies. At this stage we still do not have many organizations giving the rights to curate policies or benefits as per employees needs. If I want to take only 5 days of privilege leave and 15 days of earned leave, or only 10 days of sick leave, as against Naved who may have some other equation, it doesn't exist in multiple organizations. And soon we will reach a stage where most policies, including benefits, would be customizable, and therefore the concept of workforce of one will come into existence. There will be more and more organizations trying to customize and giving it to the last mile, giving it to the person to draw his or her own benefits plan as the person wants to. We have done, there are organizations which are allowing flexi benefits in some form or fashion, but there will be much more of this happening in times to come. On the point of any program that allows women leaders to come back and join the workforce post they have taken a career break for raising children, absolutely, our second careers program is in that direction. The way we have structured the the second careers program, we ask, we advertise for different roles, and those roles could be on a internship or a project basis. Those roles could be on a full-time role. Those roles could be a part-time opportunities. And those roles are available in the organization where women leaders can come back and work across the spectrum, right from manufacturing to a design to a product planning to a marketing to a sales. Different opportunities across our functions where we encourage women leaders to come back and join us. And it's absolutely as per the need. And in that, we give them an opportunity of working from home as well. They can continue to work from home, uh, be with us on an internship basis. When they decide to come on a full-time basis, that's when we request them to come to office and be with us in the office premises. So clearly there is a time gap from the time that you start in as part of second careers, which could be 6 to 9 months of engagement, and then you come full time on the roles of the company. So it's a beautiful opportunity. I would encourage people listening to us on the call to evaluate that option and come join us.
It clears the air, Manish. Definitely, it cleared for me and the person who asked the question. Thank you very much for the question. Keep pouring in more questions. Manish, a leading question because you touched based on opportunities, right?
Yeah.
As a leader, Manish, as a leader, what do you look in a candidate, specifically a woman candidate, when you hire, or maybe advice for professionals or women talented professionals looking for a career in Mahindra? Any advices you have, or how you look at it?
So Naved, first of all, let me clarify that as I mentioned, I think some time back, it's a merit-based selection process, and we don't positively or negatively incentivize any candidate based on gender. So our hiring managers will not select or reject a candidate purely based on gender, physical condition, any of those biases or things which we may think in our mind. That's not the criteria. Absolutely not. What plays out when you are actually hiring, it's the role fitment. The first and foremost is the role fitment. What's the requirement of the role and how best the candidate suits that requirement? We definitely would look for an excellent track record of performance. How has the person performed in his or her previous opportunities, previous roles? Now mind you, those opportunities could be prior to maternity break, maybe 5 years back. All of those will be considered. It's not that someone who has taken a break and wanting to come back and join us will be eliminated or will be favored or not favored. That's actually not the case. We do look for people who are high on our leadership behaviors of collaboration, agility, and bold. So that's something which is extremely important for the organization. We would want to hire people for displaying these behaviors, who have demonstrated these behaviors in previous organization. And as we grow Mahindra Auto in times to come, this is pivotal to our success, and that's why we would want people to come and join us who have demonstrated in in their previous organization. Last but not the least, Naved, this entire point of integrity. We are very, very conscious of the fact that we want to hire people who demonstrate ethical and integrity based behavior, and who are living our values, Mahindra values. And that's something which is very, very important for us at the time of hiring.
Thank you, Manish. You have been very vocal throughout the session. with your anthem or the message "Rise for a More Equal World." Manish, I'll quickly take this one last audience question. Uh, the question is, Manish, if Mahindra is considering any work from home or maybe hybrid options for certain specific roles, maybe across divisions.
So, Naved, we do not have a work from home policy per se. Given personal exigencies, if there are conditions where an employee may need support, we do have flexibility to that extent. If someone, so all through the period of COVID, when we were all working from home, uh, our productivity was fairly high. Actually, it hadn't gone down. We as an organization, auto division, auto business, did fairly well, even during those difficult times of pandemic. Uh, but what actually suffered was the sense of collaboration, the brainstorming that you could have done together, the ease of trying to think of innovative ideas and quickly putting the solution on ground. That is something which actually suffered during those times, which is why the organization took a conscious call of calling everybody back at work. So we are working all 5 days in office, but for roles which which we are fine to to have those roles at different locations beyond one location. So let me take an example of roles in the digital organization. If that role can be done from Chennai or Bangalore or from Delhi, and the employee does not mandatorily need to be in Kandivali or in Mumbai, where our headquarters is. Uh, those opportunities are given to to people who are from different locations. If there is a personal exigency, somebody has met with an accident or has an ailing parent or something which is very personal and needs support, the organization has always been uh, very considerate, and we have taken such calls on an exceptional basis. It's not as per a policy, but it's more on a case to case basis. Navid?
Sure. That was very brief, Manish. Thank you for answering all our questions, audience questions. With this, we come to an end through this exciting session. Thank you, Manish, so much for joining us. Thank you, Anshuman, for moderating it with me, and thank
Thank
you,
you so much.
audience, ask the questions. For any feedback, suggestions, you can write to us at careercircles@tag.in, and tune in more for exciting sessions. Follow Tag page, follow Manish, follow me, follow Anshuman. We look for future exciting times.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Manish.
Navid.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks,
Thank you, everyone.
Anshuman. Thanks, Navid. Thank you so much. Lovely talking to you guys. Thank you so
Same
much.
here.
Same here.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.